AI is lying to you, not because it's bad, it just doesn't know your data. By the end of this episode, that problem is gone. Hey, welcome to episode 3. Quick question. Have you ever asked ChatGPT something specific, like your company's refund policy or a document you uploaded, and it gave you a completely wrong answer? Sounded confident, was totally made up. That is called hallucination. And it happens because the model doesn't have your data. It only knows what it was trained on. Why LLMs hallucinate? LLMs are trained on a massive snapshot of the internet up to a certain date. Your internal documents, your database, like last week's meeting notes. None of that exists inside the model. So when you ask about something it doesn't know, it doesn't say, I don't know. It fills the gap with a confident sounding guess. That is hallucination. The fix is actually simple in concept. Before you ask the model your question, find the real answer inside your own data and include it in the prompt. Now, the model answers from facts, not memory. That is RAG, Retrieval-Augmented Generation, Kinjisen Sion. The RAG pipeline, I have seen this destroy real products. A customer support bot answering confidently how it actually works. There are 6 steps. The first 4 happen once when you set up the system. The last 2 happen every time a user asks a question. Step 1, ingest your documents, PDFs, text files, database records, load them in. Step 2, chunk them. You can't fit a 100-page document into one prompt, so you break it into smaller pieces, usually 300 to 500 words each. Step 3, embed those chunks. This is where text gets converted into numbers, vectors that represent meaning. Similar text gets similar vectors. Step 4, store everything in a vector database. Chroma, Pinecone, Vice. These are built specifically to search by meaning, not just keywords. Then when a user asks something, step 5, you embed that question too and find the chunks whose vectors are closest to it. Those are the most relevant pieces of your document. Step 6, you build a prompt with those chunks plus the question and send it to the model. It now answers from your actual data. No guessing. Chunking. The part most people get wrong, how you split your documents matters more than most tutorials admit. Too small, 50 words per chunk, and you lose context. A sentence out of context means nothing. Too big, 2,000 words, and you hit token limits. You're also pulling in so much noise that the model can't focus on what matters. The sweet spot is around 300 to 500 words per chunk, with a 50-word overlap between consecutive chunks. That overlap makes sure you never lose the meaning that the boundary between two synonyms or more two pieces. For structured documents like contracts or technical specs, chunk by section header. For raw text, chunk by character count with overlap. Vector databases, pick for your stage. A vector database stores your embeddings and lets you search by similarity. Chroma is local, open source, and runs on your laptop with a single pip install. Start here. It is everything you need while you're building and testing. Pinecone is cloud hosted and scales to millions of vectors without you managing any infrastructure. Switch to this when real users are hitting your system. Vice is Meta's library, blazing fast, no server needed. Best for local first apps or offline tools where latency is everything. Rule of thumb, build with Chroma, ship with Pinecone. Building a PDF chatbot, the real project. Look at the code on screen. 5 comments, 5 logical steps. Let me walk you walk through what each one actually does. Line 2, you load the PDF. One line, LangChain handles all the parsing. Line 7, you split the document into chunks. You pass in your chunk size and overlap. That is it. Line 11, this is where, the magic happens. One call, embeds every chunk using OpenAI's embedding model and stores the whole thing in Chroma, the entire indexing pipeline in one line. Line 14, the user asks a question in plain English. Your system embeds that question, searches the database for the 3 closest chunks, and returns them. Those chunks go into your prompt. GPT answers from your actual document, not its training data. This is exactly how enterprise AI works. Customer support bots, legal document analyzers, that is the whole pipeline, 5 lines. Teams spend months building this. You just learned it in 10 minutes. Now let's make sure internal knowledge bases, all of them are RAG under the hood. Your challenge, take any PDF, a resume, a research paper, a product spec, build a simple RAG pipeline that lets you ask questions about it. Use LangChain, Chroma, and OpenAI embeddings. Follow the 5 steps, ask 3 questions, get answers from your actual document. And here is the real test. Ask something that is not in the document. A well-built RAG system should say it doesn't know. If it starts guessing, your retrieval is not working yet. Next episode, we build your first real AI agent with tools, memory, and the reasoning loop that makes agents actually useful. See you there. That is episode 3. Your challenge is waiting. Pick a PDF, run the pipeline, get a real answer from your own data. Episode 4 drops next, your first real agent.